It was in Woodland Creek,
Oh, good.
9601 Dakota.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Good morning, Jackson.
Morning. How
Malia,
are
make
you?
sure to send that to
Good.
me and I'll get it posted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jackson. Good morning, Rachel. Did you guys have anything happen over the weekend, real estate wise?
Not really. No, sir.
No. Okay. Did you do anything fun, Jackson? That's what's
No.
important. Yeah.
No, I've been sick all weekend.
Oh
So,
man. That's
He sounds like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel,
Mhm.
good morning. She maybe. Okay. All right.
Hey,
Well, it is
Rachel.
8:32. We're gonna kick this thing off. I wanted to talk about this morning. Good morning, Leah. I wanted to talk this morning a little bit about kind of slowing down the speed up because we are in the season of planning and things like that. And I kind of, it's a good reminder for me. And because I don't know about you guys, I get lost in the woods quite a bit. And what I mean by that is that I feel like I have been running and running and running for the past 6, 8 months, 9 months. Just like there's been so much going on, and which is a good thing. But it's just the to-do list just keeps getting a little longer, right? Like it just, and I'm sure you guys with your real estate business have been to a point where it's just like I've got all this stuff going on. I don't know what's up, what's down, what's sideways, all of the good stuff. And for me, it's really when I get in those moments, the only way I've found a way to actually get out of that is to actually slow down and take a moment, take a breath, right? And I kind of want to give an example of that. Is that 90 well for in my experience 90% of the problems I've had with clients, the problems I've had with buyers, sellers, investors, or anything like that is I moved too fast, and I didn't take the time to slow down. They could be that they got questions on they didn't know, they were going to have to do anything on the home inspection. They didn't know the repair list, or buyers didn't know that they're going to have to pay for an appraisal or whatever it is, right? But most of the time, those problems actually came up because I didn't take the time to slow down on the front end and really go over all of the process, right? And that's what I mean by slowing down to speed up, because a lot of times we're moving so quickly. We're trying to get all of these things done. We've got deadlines. Time is always of the essence. And if we don't take just a moment to slow down, we almost create more problems as they move along. Like for me in my business, in my life, like it's almost like that to-do list keeps going. And so I'm halfway focused on doing the task at hand because I'm always worried about what's coming down the line. I'm always focused on that list, right? I'm always focused on what I have to do next instead of taking a moment and being present where I'm at. And going back to the sales thing, it's if we take some time and take some real time, take a little longer than we normally would, and explain everything on the front, set proper expectations on the front, we almost solve a lot of problems before they even happen. Another way to look at it from a business standpoint is that I really like the metaphor that was taught to me by a mentor several years ago, was that we've all played Jenga, right? The blocks, you stack them up and all of that good stuff, and you start, the bottom's the most important part, right? The bottom, where your foundation of your tower is the absolute most important. And you do 3 blocks and you take the other 3 blocks and you lay them sideways and you stack up like that, right? And that's how you start the game, because you start the game it's sustainable, right? It's very, very sustainable. But a lot of times, well, imagine if you started the blocks, you only put 1 at the bottom, right? And then you try to put 3 on top of that, and then maybe 2 the next time, and then maybe 1. You would not be able to go very, very high with the tower. And it's the same thing within our business, right? If we don't take the time to make sure that we have a super, super strong foundation, we can't go very far. It's not sustainable. It's a matter of time before our tower of business kind of starts falling. And that's really the essence of what I'm getting at with the idea of slowing down to speed up. Okay. And I'll kind of go back to, again, on the sales side of things. taking the time to communicate with a seller what the process looks like from start to finish and even after 99% of the time solves all of your problems throughout, right? Because if you prepare them, right, if you prepare like, hey, when we get the home inspection done, there's a very, very good chance the buyer is going to request repairs. That way, when that actually happens, they're not caught off guard and be like, oh my gosh, you didn't tell me about that. When we're going over our seller net sheets, right? If we don't put all the possibilities of what could happen on there, they're going to feel like they're blindsided, and we're going to create more problems down the process when they get that offer and a VA buyer is asking $10,000 for closing, right? They're going to be like, wow, I didn't agree to this. I didn't sign up for this. I don't know what's going on. But taking the time on the front end to truly slow down, to truly have those conversations really, really fixes a lot. And this doesn't really just stop at dealing with sellers or your business plan or anything like that. For me personally, it's taking the time to slow down for myself, right? For myself in the aspect of like, if I'm running and I'm tired, I'm beat, I'm whatever it is, right? Well, when I talk to a client, I'm probably going to be a little shorter, right? I'm not going to have my cup's empty. I don't have anything to pour into them, right? But if I take the time to slow down and make sure that I'm good, right? Well, more than likely, I have a much better chance of having good conversations there. With me and my wife, right? Like when I take the time to slow down and check in and not just focus on all the stuff I have to do during the week, our relationship tends to be a whole lot better than it was if I was just blowing and going, right? And so the slow down, the speed up is something that has really changed you could almost say like it's just made my life a whole lot better, both personally and business wise, like it really has. Another example of kind of slowing down the speed up is one things I started doing probably 2 years ago was I started doing what's called a Sunday sit down, right? And a Sunday sit down, and I may have already told you guys about this, but in a nutshell, what I do is I plan my week before it even starts. So every Sunday afternoon or early Monday morning, I take roughly 30-45 minutes and I go down and I do all the things that need to be done, that need to be addressed during the week. That way I don't have to wonder what's coming next. I can already basically prioritize what I need to do that week. I can go on here and say, if I get XYZ done, I've had a good week, right? I'm taking the time to slow down. That way I can speed up and go at full speed during the week. Because how many times as agents do we wake up and be like, I was supposed to do something Tuesday, or there was something that's on my calendar Wednesday that's not supposed to be there, or we forget things, right? And that's because we are moving so fast in our business that we can't keep up. And the only way to keep up as your business grows, as you progress, as you get more clients and you start making more money is taking those moments to really slow down. The rule of thumb that my business coach actually tells me now is the fact that like if you feel like you need to go faster, you probably need to take a moment and slow down. So if you have all the things you need to do, if your list is 4 pages long, like more than likely what needs to happen is you need to take a moment and just review and figure out what exactly is the most important thing. Because a lot of times, and that's one thing I got away from to-do list. I started focusing on priority list is the fact that like my to-do list would have call clients back, maybe go over repair list or all very, very important things, follow up with this lead, whatever it is. But I'd also have taking out the trash on there, right? Well, taking out the trash could probably wait till tomorrow. The rest needs to happen today. So all of a sudden, just by taking a moment and reflecting on what is actually important on my list, my day got shorter. My day went from insurmountable as far as can't get it all done to, oh, I can knock this out. That's no problem, right? But I do think it's super, super important, especially in this time that we're in, is to take a moment and slow down. Like slow down in the fact that like we know it's a priority to follow up with our sphere, but a lot of times we say we don't have time. Taking the time and making the time to slow down, to follow up with those people in your past clients, your current clients, the people you've been working with could be tenfold in 3-6 months from now. Right. So it's important, it's profitable, it's meaningful for us to be able to do that, but we have to make the time to slow down. We have to do it, because if we're running 100 miles an hour all the time and we've got a wheel about to fall off, it's just a matter of time before we crash, right? So something to think about, and something to try to really implement into your business is think of ways to slow down in order to speed up, to slow down and take the time to have those conversations, take the time to take a minute to breathe, to take the time to reflect, take the time to plan. And that way, when busy season does come, when life does seem just moving just at light speed, you've got a firm foundation. You've got a solid foundation that's not going anywhere. That's what makes a business sustainable. That's why, that's when you look at people and it's just like they've got all the time in the world or whatever it is. It's because they've taken the time to really make sure that where they're going is good and their foundation's solid. So something to think about, and I hope that's helpful. As far as like the Sunday sit down has been an absolute game changer for me, and that's really what probably helped me slow down in many other areas of my life, right? And like I said, it's not just something you can use for business. It's taking for someone important in your life, taking the 5 minutes and just saying, hey, how are you, by the way? Like, I know we're talking about this, but are you good? Is everything okay? And taking that, you would just be surprised what a difference that makes in not only their life, but also your life as well. So, but anyway, that's what I've got. Slow down to speed up. Seems counterintuitive, but I promise you it works. It works 100% of the time. So, the couple reminders, tomorrow's sales meeting is going to be here at the Montgomery branch. We're going to be kind of deep diving into business planning, going over that business planner. Please, if you haven't already, go on Dropbox and go and start that. I think it was 1 to 13, the first 12, 13 pages. And basically that's some reflection time. I went over that a couple weeks, maybe last week before that, can't remember. But anyway, take some time to do that. And then we can deep dive on like really figuring out where your business is at, right? Because that's what tomorrow's sales meeting is going to be about, is like really focusing on where it's at. Because if you don't know where you're at, you don't know where to go. Right. So really the most important thing for me on business planning is really reflecting and figuring out what's happened and where I'm at right now, because only then you know exactly which direction to head to. So because if you think you're in Florida, but you're actually in Texas, well, I mean, it's hard to tell where you're going to end up. You may not be planning correctly. So, and also, as we're finishing up the end of the year, if there's anybody that wants to meet one-on-one or, meet, I'm more than willing to help in any way possible. So just please get with me. I'd be happy to go over the business planning in person, or if you have some ideas, sometimes just a third party perspective, super, super helpful. I know it's been helpful for me. And last but not least, today's Veterans Day. Thank a veteran. I mean, we live regardless of your view of politics, we live in a pretty incredible country, and we get to do real estate, which is a pretty incredible business. So thank a veteran. That's, without them, it's tough. It's hard to tell where we would be at. So, does anybody have anything else to add this morning?
Muggs is a vet. Thank you, Muggs.
Do what?
Yes,
now?
thank you, Muggs.
Oh, I said Muggs.
Oh, yeah.
Sir.
Oh, thank you,
so
Muggs.
We'll say,
yes,
thank you, Muggs.
Oh, sorry, I didn't quite hear you. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, guys. Well, if that's it, I'm going to end the call here. If you guys need anything, please reach out. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. So,
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.